The timing of this film is irrelevant, even if silver prices have already dropped. Now that the secret is out, the big change is happening. As we delve deeper, I will clarify. The truth is that this change has been ongoing for a while, albeit at more muted periods. However, in my opinion, the turning point came on Friday, September 26th, during the trading session. Overnight, the markets experienced a surprise move. I believe that's correct. I should probably remind you about Summit Metals, our channel sponsor, before I go into the nitty-gritty of what's going on. Increasing your fortune can be as simple as raising your stack. And that is a strong move you can make. And whether you buy or hold, adding silver and gold to your portfolio can increase your wealth. In addition, Summit Metals offers excellent customer service and sells silver. Among bullion dealers, they are one of the most rapidly expanding businesses. Visit summitmetals.com to see them for yourself. What on earth am I getting at? The $52.31 worth of silver? What is it? Yes, I understand. This is not an illusion. In US dollars, that amounts to $52.31. According to an excellent post by Oriental Ghost on X, that is the 10% price increase that occurred during overnight trade. Not only that, but he has been meticulously recording and documenting the happenings at the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange as well. Along with this differential, there have been numerous opportunities for arbitrage. In contrast to the LBMA and COMEX markets in the US, the Asian markets have witnessed a significantly higher price for silver. Now tell me what's happening. This is how his post looks. Gold and silver hit fresh all-time highs on September 26, 2025, according to night trading data on the SGE and SHFE. An overnight 10% surge saw the price of pure silver soaring to $52.31 USD. Yes, I understand. I have already said that, by the way, and it went viral. Not a penny of value-added tax or VAT is due on it. There you have it, the raw data. Also, in comparison to the commonly reported daily close, this figure is slightly off. Here we have the raw silver price data. And so, that incoming material falls into a category. However, I am unsure of its precise meaning. The silver price we're discussing on the Shanghai Gold Exchange isn't even the most crucial part. The reason I'm displaying this item here is partially due to that, by the way. Since its debut, China has not had a bullion coin before this one. And, to be more precise, it is a metal. There is no denomination printed on it. Whatever the case may be, this is the first one to be produced in bullion form since the Panda series. Thus, I purchased one of those and shelled out a pretty penny for it. As far as I can tell, they are still asking for a pretty high premium. Plus, the rationale behind it is a mystery to me. In my opinion, there is no mintage restriction on those. However, I must admit that it is an exquisite addition to the stack, actually, the collection, given the exorbitant price I paid for it. Still, data from the night of trade on the Shanghai Gold and Futures exchanges drove a sharp increase in the price of raw silver to $52.31 per ounce on September 26th. Even Western benchmarks such as the LBMA and the COMEX are falling behind that at the moment. The worldwide pricing power may be moving away from the London Bullion Market Association and the COMEX, as well as other Western markets, as a result of this. As a result, China is becoming the price powerhouse in the face of surging demand from industry and investors. Incidentally, I am filming this video before to the market's opening. On top of that, I have a market open on Sunday nights. A market watch is something that we do, and the future is completely unpredictable. this could lead to an improvement. The fact that it occurred on a Friday and was left unattended over the weekend, however, speaks volumes. Sure thing. Why? Because this has happened previously. That spreads constantly. In fact, we have witnessed that rather frequently over the past many years. According to a recent study published in the Journal of Commodity Markets, this surge could be a symptom of a supply bottleneck, as China's silver inventory has been depleted by 35 metric tons on the SGE. Yes, I understand. Among the things we've observed, we are aware of that. Demand compression. Silver is in scarce supply right now, and the physical realm is undoubtedly the place where it hurts the most. Naturally, that is particularly true for silver's usage in industry. Here in China, we keep tabs on events happening within the country. The global community is highly concerned about the situation in China. To put it simply, their economy is second to none. The demand for silver in China's economy, which is used to make goods that Americans buy, has been the subject of much speculation and contradictory reports. That has not yet ended. So, those are the many elements involved. And when you notice a shortage of supply there, it definitely indicates something. Despite claims to the contrary in Western markets, the Silver Institute has calculated that the world's silver stockpiles are insufficient to last for more than 6 months. And that is the situation right now. In terms of retail price increases in China, that amounts to 1,200 yuan. Therefore, currency strength and speculative buying impact some localized market dynamics. According to Chinese customs data, silver imports to the country will more than double between 2020 and 2024, lending credence to this trend. Now, I've also been covering this story for a while on this channel. Additionally, it is known that China has been purchasing silver in its raw form. It is quite possible that that is influencing this price fluctuation. Even if silver's price falls today, it still indicates activity. Something has changed. It's possible for this to happen while trading overnight. There is evident market pressure here. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it again. This bodes well for the prospect that any decline in silver's price may be short-lived, in my opinion. Plus, the rally will keep going. Yet another breakout. The ascendancy of one breakout over another. This may indicate that silver is about to experience an even bigger breakout. Here, I'm considering every possible outcome. There is one facet of the reporting and possible interpretation of these data points. At the present moment, however, it can only indicate an upward trend for the price of silver. I have no idea how much. However, that is a significant change. 10% overnight, particularly considering their measurement methods. Therefore, the outcome of this will be highly intriguing to observe. However, the individual responsible for this Oriental Ghost X account has done extensive market research. Everything that is happening is being reported truthfully. I find the reporting and data posted there fascinating, and I've been following this account for a while. Given this, it will be fascinating to observe the outcome and the impact on silver. Keep in mind that today is a bull run. We are approaching the $50 mark. We should be able to get there, in my opinion. Based on the trends we've seen with these $1 and even $2 weekly moves, it might happen this year. As I have been reporting on recently, maybe a month ago, there appears to have been a change from a short to a long position. This subsequent breakout that we've been experiencing truly started there. There are very few indications that it will slow down, More indicators point to a favorable trend for silver than a negative one. It was short-lived, just as I had foretold during the prior consolidation or pullback. Subsequently, it began to emerge once more. Also, I believe that the next slump will be whenever it is. Once again, I'm making an assumption that, barring a current downturn, we might see one in the future. Sometime soon, we could see it again. A $2 gain in a day or two is significant, and before it moves again, there is typically a stop, hiatus, or retreat of some kind. I feel like we're overdue for that, to a certain degree. That shouldn't come as a surprise to us either. On the whole, though, I'm curious to see where silver is headed. Also, I don't see this as a sign that the economy is about to collapse. Whether or not the economy is ailing, I simply believe there are a lot of fundamentals. Plus, I'm not referring to a certain nation here. I mean the entire world. Of course, the biggest economy is unquestionably the United States. Accordingly, that is the primary area of interest. Even so, there are parts of our economy that are thriving, as seen by a GDP well over 3%. Be mindful that I mentioned aspects. Other parts aren't performing up to par either. We are aware of that. Some of the released data raises questions that we are aware of. Still, we are patiently waiting to see how the economy and silver prices play out. You are well aware that I have often said how I truly feel. It appears to be a coin, actually. Behold, I found it. It does, in fact, bear the name of a religious group. Based on current market conditions and silver prices, it appears that we may soon witness an economic scenario that could support its further rise. Consumer demand for goods and services requiring silver will remain high regardless of the quality of the economic data that is released. Also, I predict that more and more people will put their money into safe haven investments if the economy continues to struggle. I don't think people will rush into cryptocurrency as a safe haven anymore. Their overall level of speculation is higher, For the record, I'd prefer it if the economy improved for everyone and the price of silver dropped significantly if you're a regular viewer of our channel. That, in my opinion, is the crux of the matter. When the economy is doing well, everyone benefits, and I couldn't be happier about it. I hope the economy doesn't tank because of a spike in silver prices. For me, the value of silver goes beyond its monetary cost. In my view, that is not what makes silver valuable. It shouldn't for you either, in my opinion. That's why I like to avoid pessimism. Dealing with it is an inevitable part of discussing economics and prices. Having said that, I am of the firm belief that silver will continue to rise from levels not seen before to this rally, regardless of economic developments. Please share your opinions with me in the space provided below. Hopefully, you have gained knowledge, insight, and understanding from this video. The time you've taken to watch this is greatly appreciated, and I ask that you do the following: subscribe, like, share, and rate the video. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.